Okay. I'm convinced that losing does something to the brain.
Are we having fun yet?
Okay, all right, so we're exposing Spurs fans today. So what we're looking at today is one of the dumbest tweets I've seen in a very, very long time. Not only is it dumb, it's completely wrong. Now, before I get into this, I want to give my thoughts on the whole Primo situation right now, okay? I know that I've been very open about I want to see Primo play. That's the fandom in me. But at the same time, I am honest and I'm open to say, okay, I trust the San Antonio Spurs, who have been successful for 3 decades when it comes to developing talent. They're pretty good at that. And we're going to get deeper into that a little bit later, but they are good at that. And going to the G League does have utility to it. I know a lot of people say that there's no reason he should be in the G League right now. He should be getting NBA minutes, but there's a plethora of reasons why I believe that the Spurs are doing this. Now, I'm going to go in on this tweet, okay? It's a couple tweets. I'm going to go in on it, but I do want to say this. The San Antonio Spurs right now are in a situation where they're trying to try out as many players as they can. I understand that right now, as it stands, what they want to do is see what they have. Now, they know that they have something pretty good in Deonte Murray, but they're still trying to figure out who's going to be here in the long run. We're not that deep into the season. They're trying to see what do we have by the end of this season, or even by the middle of the season before the deadline, before they make any moves. And when it comes to Joshua Primo, they know if he's in the G League, he's developing. We know we got something special in him. He's gonna stay put. He's gonna be here. Let's just give him as many reps as we can while we're still trying out the players on the team right now. I support that. That's perfectly fine. The fandom in me says, of course I want to see Josh Primo. Why can't we see Josh Primo? And I play around with that all the time. But at the same time, I am pretty level-headed when it comes to understanding what the Spurs are trying to do. Whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, look, the results have shown that the G League helps, and we're going to get into that. So here's the thing. Here's the tweet. Is TNT airing G League games now? I've been watching what I thought was supposed to be the Nets-Warriors game, and I see Kuminga playing and causing havoc, and surely he can't be competing at such a high level on a nationally televised game without reps and confidence. Because Kuminga was never in the G League, right? Is that because I'm getting the vibes that's what he's saying here, right? Like Kuminga wasn't in. Let's just see. Oh, what is this? Kuminga was in the G League. He was in the G League, played 13 games, averaged 32.8 minutes. He averaged 15.8 points, and he was attempting 14 field goal attempts per game. So it seems as if the G League does have utility to it, because my friend, you're trying to say and make this notion that Kuminga never played in the G League, but in fact he did. He played many of games and he got many of reps, many of minutes that would have helped his confidence. All right, so this is just a flat out wrong tweet. He's just blatantly wrong in this regard. I know that it's fun to go ahead and pick at the Spurs the best you can, and you know, when you're losing and when your team is down, just kick them while they're down. But my friend, you're completely wrong. The G League does have utility to it, and Kuminga would be a result of that. Now I want to get into another tweet, and this is the one that I think is a little more pressing and the one that I really can't stand. Now I really hate to get in on this one because the Hailstone, I knew him a while back, or at least I had communication with him like back early Spurs dynasty days. Okay, he seemed like a really nice guy, but yeah, look, dumb takes are dumb takes, so we're gonna get in. Look, I just gotta do what I gotta do. How many Spurs players went to the G League and then turned into an all-star? That's the question, and I have to say this. First off, we're gonna start with all-star appearances in general. It's very arbitrary. This whole idea that because you made an all-star game necessarily means that you're some caliber of player. Sure, most players that make all-star games are stars, are superstars, because they're just some of the best in the league. But you can't sit here and go to the smallest possible subsection of players to make the All-Star game. It's already hard to make the All-Star game, whether you've been in the G League or whether you've been an established player in the league. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first and foremost, if we keep it Spurs, Manu Ginobili only made the All-Star, only made 2 All-Star appearances. He really could have made multiple, but he's only made 2, and he was very established in the NBA. I mean, we're talking NBA champion, we're talking one of the greatest 6 men of all time, and he made it twice. Now, not only that, if we want to talk about recent history, if you're looking at the snubs, there's 6 big snubs that was posted in February, and some of this kind of changed a little, but we had Devin Booker, we had Trae Young at the time, Bam, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, Sabonis, and we had Mike Conley. These were huge names that didn't make the All-Star, didn't make an All-Star appearance initially, and didn't even make it into, it was ridiculous, okay? Yeah, that's all I gotta say. It was ridiculous. So it's really hard to make an All-Star appearance anyway. So if you add on to that, oh, but what G League players ever made, I'm sorry, it's already hard even if you're an established player, let alone a G League player going into the NBA and then developing into an All-Star. How often does that even happen? But I am going to mention one thing in particular, and another reason why that tweet is really dumb. So if we're talking about G League appearances and becoming All-Stars, Chris Middleton was known as someone who was snubbed. And I have news for you, Chris Middleton was in the G League. Not only that, if we're talking about players who have made the G League and been successful, let's see who we got here. Chris Middleton, of course. We're talking NBA champion, 2-time All-Star. Let's scroll down here, and we got Siakam. Let's see, he's an NBA champion, an All-Star, an All-Second Team, and Most Improved Player of the Year. Who else do we have here? Oh, Danny Green. Danny Green. I don't remember. Was Danny Green on the San Antonio Spurs? I don't remember. I don't know. It was some player in 2013 that had some type of record margin as far as most threes in the finals at the time who beat out Ray Allen. It couldn't have been Danny. I don't think it was Danny Green. No, it doesn't make sense because that wouldn't fit the narrative. So you scroll down a little bit more. Who we got? Oh, Rudy Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time All-Star, 1-time All-Second Team, 3-time All-Third Team, 5-time All-Defensive First Team, 1-time League Leader in blocks. So this whole notion, and Jordan Clarkson, of course, 1-time Sixth Man, 1-time All-Rookie First Team. So this whole notion that the G League does nothing for players doesn't hold true at all. So all I'm trying to say is I understand that it's frustrating, okay, if you want to see Primo play in NBA minutes, but you got to contextualize every single thing that the San Antonio Spurs do, okay? It's okay that he's in the G League. He's going to develop. Even if we're talking about the G League alone, let's talk about the last game in which Primo played. Primo played a game in which he came back in the second half, played fabulous. But let's be honest, if he was in NBA minutes and he started off the game as poorly as he did, there's no way in the world anyone will be saying, yeah, put him in the entire second half. You guys will be upset that he's playing in the second half if he played that poorly in the first half. And on top of it, we have many players on the team that we still have to try out. Now, I want to end it on this, and I'm going to look up something for you guys really quick. And since we want to keep it within the Spurs, who is it that became an All-Star? Dude, it's so hard to become an All-Star. But we're going to talk about this for a minute. So if we're talking about who's been in the G League that's had some type of success, I think that guy, what's his name? Do you guys remember? He's a point guard. He starts for us. He's a good defender. He can create his own shot for the most part. Pretty good playmaker, leading us in a lot of statistical categories. Deonte Murray. Yes, Deonte Murray was in the G League, and right now he's averaging 18.9 points per game, 8 assists per game. He's shooting at 46% clip. He is murdering. And this whole notion that this guy right here isn't an All-Star caliber, I don't think he'll make the All-Star appearance. I don't think he will, but that's not on him, okay? That's just the way that it is in the NBA. It's hard to make All-Star appearances. So DeJounte would have been an example of that, but I'm sorry, when you're a San Antonio Spurs fan, you're going to get used to your players not making the All-Star appearances. So I say all that to say this. I understand that we're all upset. I understand that we want to see our players be in the All-Star games and we want to see the G League players developing. But this whole notion that it doesn't happen is just silly. It happens all the time. You guys are completely wrong. You're out of bounds. You don't know what you're talking about. And look, I'm open to suggestions, but it seems as if you have a little bit of recency bias. When you're losing, I understand that you're going to start to see all the negativity that you want to see, but it's just not the reality of the situation that we're in right now. So you guys, let me know what you think. If you want to support the channel, obviously $2 a month, link in the description for that. Patreon members, YouTube members, thank you guys so much. I'll give it to you guys later, man. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention. All right, so you guys have a good one, and don't make any dumb takes on Twitter, okay?